Start with that deadly standoff in Walton, Kentucky, as we learned a short time ago that one of the two Boone County deputies shot by a man who ended up barricading himself inside his home is out of the hospital, and 39-year-old Justin Chapman has been identified as the gunman who took his own life late last night. Our crews are still there in Walton on the scene. Less than 24 hours ago, it was one of the largest police responses that we have seen in recent years. Countless amount of law enforcement from northern Kentucky. Valerie Lyons leads our team coverage tonight with new details from investigators. Valerie.
Yeah, Adrian, you touched on it right there. Just a remarkable update. Investigators were telling us earlier today this could have ended very differently. One deputy now out of the hospital, the other still recovering at UC Medical Center, but in good spirits and expected to be discharged within the coming days. Now, I do just want to give you some context. We are standing in a parking lot just down the hill from this apartment complex because this is where we got our most recent update from the Boone County Sheriff's Office. And one thing that they are clarifying tonight, this all happened a little earlier than was first reported. We know this shooting happened around 10 p.m. We are told now that deputies were actually at the apartment at around 9:30 trying to speak with the suspect. Those conversations lasted for about 30 minutes until that shooting actually happened. And now 39-year-old Justin Chapman, we know, fired several rounds from inside the apartment after deputies kicked in the door. Cell phone video shared with us from neighbors shows deputies scrambling to get out of the way. Investigators say those deputies were serving a felony warrant for overdue child support payments. And we learned today deputies had been unsuccessful in serving the warrant a few months ago. Major Philip Ridgell with the Boone County Sheriff's Office says deputies last night did not know Chapman had a gun.
Could have been horrific. I mean, we're talking about, instead of talking about two deputies being discharged, we could be talking about, potentially planning the funerals. And I think that weight carried very heavy with our staff, certainly the families, and I think that the thing that they went through last night was just as meaningful as anyone else.
And neighboring apartments were evacuated while deputies tried to speak with Chapman. The Boone County Sheriff's Office says he would not cooperate, so they deployed gas canisters. When he didn't respond, they sent in a drone, and that is when investigators tell us they found Chapman lying on the ground with a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Now, I asked Major Philip Ridgell if deputies were aware whether Chapman had any mental health issues. He told me that is something that they are looking into in this investigation right now. And also, right now, there is no evidence pointing to deputies ever firing their guns, so that is why this is not being considered, rather, as an officer-involved shooting. Live in Walton this evening, Valerie Lyons, WCPO 9 News.
Valerie, thanks. Some of the dozens of people who live there at this complex watched the scene unfold, said it was overwhelming and chaotic. As you can see in the videos we've obtained, a lot of them still trying to process what they saw last night. And WCPO 9 News reporter Connor Steffen spent the day in the neighborhood speaking with many of them, joins us live, still there in Walton. What did they tell you, Connor?
Well, Adrian, many of the neighbors are still stunned, recounting to us what happened last night, and it's easy to see why. I want you to take a look at the apartment building behind me. This is the apartment building where everything played out. You'll see a set of windows now boarded up along with that front door. Crews did that in just the last 2 hours. These are the lasting reminders, and they are evident of what happened last night. At Walton's Town Creek Crossing Complex.
I barely process it. Barely process it.
Thursday night's chaos.
You've got drones out here, you've got the SWAT team out here, you've got snipers.
Quickly turned to quiet by Friday morning.
It doesn't seem like something that would happen around here.
But for neighbors like Josh Steele.
For this to happen in the neighborhood is it's unbelievable.
It's a scene etched into memory.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
He says it started when he heard gunshots.
It just sounded like someone was banging against metal. It just pop, 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 pop.
These gunshots.
There's a gun. Yep. Oh my God.
Steele says he then opened his front door and saw sheriff's deputies.
They're carrying one of the officers in the back of a cruiser. He gets on his radio, officer's been hit.
That's just right here.
Yes, right here, right from my door.
A sheriff's spokesman says the suspect shot and injured two deputies.
They're very brave for what they do. They put their lives on the line every single day. My heart goes out to their families. I'm hoping and praying for a speedy recovery.
This was the scene on Friday morning. Law enforcement pulling presumably evidence out of the suspect's apartment, including this large safe, as neighbors watched on.
To think it would get this far is kind of far-fetched to me.
This woman lives here with her mom and 1-year-old daughter, right next door to where it happened.
What if he got angry and the bullet ricocheted and went through the wall? My kid's right at that wall.
She says her family knew the suspect, 39-year-old Justin Chapman, describing him as a quiet veteran who appeared to struggle at times with issues that weren't always clear.
From what he had done for my family, I was like, okay, he's a cool guy.
Cordial.
Yeah. And I was like, no problems with me, no problems with him, type of thing.
We also spoke with many other neighbors off camera. It's worth noting they are extending their gratitude to law enforcement who made their way to this scene yesterday and today. They're also keeping those 2 injured sheriff's deputies in their thoughts. We're live in Walton, Kentucky. Connor Steffen, WCPO 9 News.
Yeah, Connor, thank you. And again, that one deputy released from the hospital, discharged, the other still recovering. The WCPO 9I team has uncovered what seems to be a troubled background of the shooter, Justin Chapman. Since he returned home from serving in Iraq, he faced numerous legal troubles. In 2009, a woman sought a protection order against him. She said that Chapman threw her to the floor as she was holding their 5-month-old. And I-Team reporter Dan Monk found on 2 different occasions, Chapman slammed the door on deputies as they tried to enforce a warrant. Documents also revealed that he was undergoing treatment for post-traumatic stress disorder following his military service. We're continuing to stay on top of this story for you, of course. You can find more updates on WCPO.com, along with an article that explains the process deputies went through leading up to serving that warrant last night. You can find that story on our homepage.